Hi, welcome to D&D Night on DDOstream, sponsored by Fantasy Grounds, the most supported virtual tabletop with more official licenses for your tabletop gaming enjoyment. Visit fantasygrounds.com to learn more. This campaign is HUGS Unlimited, a D&D adventure set in the world of Eberron and influenced by Dungeons & Dragons Online. If you're watching or listening and you play DDO, you may recognize some people and places the party encounters. And if you don't play Dungeons & Dragons Online, hey, everything will be exciting and full of surprises. I am BonnieBew, your Dungeon Master this evening, and playing with me tonight, we have James playing Brighton. You can say hi.
Good evening.
He's playing a Halfling barbarian from the Talenta Plains with a bit of a grudge against elves. Rena is playing Nissha,
Aloha.
a Tairnadal elven fighter, walking in the steps of her spirit ancestor with her trusty double-bladed scimitar, harmony in hand. Tessa is playing Kit Kat or Kit or Cat.
Hi.
Tholgrin is playing Pants.
Howdy.
You're a Warforged, a neophyte Warforged bouncer who doesn't understand how chicken works.
There are feathery bog demons and must die.
Mhm.
And they're tasty.
And Lily is playing Zaleria,
Hi.
and she's an elven ranger bounty hunter straight out of Stormreach.
Yep.
Yeah, she's not one of those Tairnadal elves. She's not one of those Arenal elves. She's not one of those House Aleran elves or one of those House Thorani elves. She's her own elf.
One of a kind.
And if the gold is right, she will lasso you and she will turn you in.
You bet.
Don't try and tell her how to elf. Sister.
Normally we would also have Wreist playing Aleran, and we would have Izzy playing or not Izzy, but Judye playing Izzy, a Dragonmarked cleric of House Durasco, who's busy knitting socks for everyone. But they're sick. So we will kind of be adjusting and adapting for that the best we can. To summarize, when last we saw the party, you had each signed a contract with the Heroic Union of Greater Stormreach. You were assigned to Local 86, newly established on Korthos Island. Your Union rep, Nola Soldaric, sent you on a riverboat ride out of Stormreach, down the Coranu River to the village of Willowdale, on a monster hunt in the Cerulean Hills. There you met with Lord Garridon Zindalo, who desires vengeance against the albino alligator that killed his wife Katerina. If you bring him the head of El Legarto, he will pay you 1,200 gold. And that's technically 500 gold for the head and 100 gold for each of you. I guess it's 1,200 if all of you survive.
Oh, jeez.
Now, you agreed to his face to kill the beast, though there is some interest among the party in an offer from House Vadalis, who would gladly pay twice as much if you brought such an exotic creature back to Stormreach alive. You are currently on a riverboat, being guided by Jal and Denoir Zindalo, two of Lord Garridon's sons. They are taking you to the Braza Farm, where the last sighting of the albino alligator occurred 2 weeks ago. You're 4 hours into this river trip, halfway, which has been uneventful except for the giant wasp that you just obliterated, whose guts can now be found all over the starboard deck. And that is where we're going to pick up this session.
So that was not a chicken.
That wasn't a chicken. Now,
Special breed.
the fanciest chicken.
Mm.
Now, when last we left you, the wasp was obliterated. There are wasp guts all over the starboard side of the deck. Wreist had been very inquisitive. He'd examined the remains, found slime mold of the creature, pocketed this, and put it into his pack. A few minutes later, though, as you're staring at this disgusting mass on the deck, you realize that the deck is starting to smoke a little.
Oh
And
no.
Wreist looks down at his hands, and there's something eating through his gloves. Looks like the remains of this wasp might be a bit caustic. I want everybody to do a deck save.
Retroactive saving throw.
Retroactive saving throw.
Oh yay.
Oof.
All right, so Kit Kat, unfortunately, you realize that there's something eating through your clothes. Apparently, you got a little bit of the spray. It didn't hit your skin directly, though.
Okay.
And
geez.
Danwar, one of the Danwar Zindalo, he's starting to have a few issues because he got some spray on his face.
Oh boy.
So it's starting to become very painful, and he's screaming a little bit. So Izzy kind of gathers him to the side, and she gathers Rhys too, because Rhys he tries to take off his gloves, but they've fused a little bit to his hands, and so she's taking them below deck, and she's going to do some first aid and try to solve the situation. That leaves the rest of you on deck and one Zindalo brother. The riverboat needs 2 people to, I guess, for lack of a better word, drive the ship. Jal, he can take the rudder, but one of you is going to need to try to pitch in with a sail.
I would also like to, before we get too far into this, use the 2x4 and vault the wasp corpse off the boat
Well,
into
that
the
was
river.
the other part, is the rest of you might want to try to clean off the starboard side of the deck a little bit before the guts get, I guess, eat away the ship.
Hence volunteers for corpse removal duty.
I
How do we
will.
get rid of acid?
Do we have any bases? That was a chemistry joke for anyone who.
I laughed. Trying to get salty.
I'm shaking my head mightily.
Get a bit salty.
That's the side point. There's this shirt that someone at work has that I love, and it's got a rainbow scale, like a litmus meter on it, and it says, "You're a 10, maybe on a pH scale, 'cause you basic."
I love that.
I love it.
I
Well-
approve of all these puns.
Your boat needs to be more basic at the moment, apparently.
Well, how about we get the corpse that's oozing the guts off and vault that into the water so we don't have any more acid guts?
So you don't have any problem getting the bulk of the wasp off. So it's really just the dredges that have leaked out. There's like a kind of a circle that you have to, that's your concern for the deck now. Otherwise, one of you also needs to help steer the boat.
Well, Kit Kat's like kind of predisposed. She's trying to not lose her.
As a bouncer, would I have proficiency in mops? From
Well,
being
I don't
in the
know.
bar?
Is that the kind of job that you did while you were a bouncer? Did you help clean up? Was the tavern closed for the evening?
Depends on what the mysterious owner would have requested he do. I'm sure he probably would.
Well, Zaleria was a bounty hunter, so she does have some experience with corpses.
Have you ever had a corpse be acidic before?
No, I have not. Just normal ones.
So it's still a little bit of a learning experience.
A little bit.
How about Brighton or Nissha? How are you handling the situation?
So doesn't know anything about boats, but she would look for something first that could help soak up the acid. So like sawdust, dirt, anything like that that's fine and absorbent. And then afterwards, she'd look for a bucket so that they could wash it off the deck.
If you do dilute it enough, it'll be fine.
Further question, just clarifying with the boat. I don't recall, are we on an actual riverboat or are we on a barge? I seem to recall we were on a barge.
You're on a riverboat.
Oh,
It's
it's a full
kind of a
riverboat. Okay.
barge. I mean, I think barge could handle the terminology for this boat as well. And you should still have the map, but I'm going to open it for the sake of the viewers. And I'll reshare for the sake of you.
So this is something where there would be a lower deck, some basic rudimentary storage things.
So it's basically a 2-story boat, and there's kind of a little housing sheltered unit in the middle. So there's definitely a below deck with storage, and that's where Izzy is with Wreist and Denoir right now, doing her medical training. And there is some stuff stored below decks. There's some bunks and spaces for people to rest. So anything that you would associate with bunks and regular galley storage should be on this boat. And then there's that little chapter house sheltered area down the middle of the boat where you can get out of the heat of the day. Right now it's winter time, but if it was a hot summer day, or if it was storming, you could potentially get some shelter in the middle of the boat.
I'll climb up the mast and help with the sail.
Okay. Yeah, and there's the sail as well. So Brighton is on the sail duty. Jal he's still handling the rudder, so you're going the direction that you need to be going. Where do you want to look for cleaning supplies, I guess, Nissha?
Well, if there's a galley, if there's anything like cornmeal or flour, that would work just as well as sawdust or dirt, especially since we shouldn't need a ton of it to sprinkle over and then wash it off with the bucket and rope.
Yep, there's definitely some flour and there's some oatmeal in the galley. Dry oatmeal, not the...
Nissha would gather those up and start spreading them over the acid to absorb it, and then a bucket and rope, if we could find that somewhere. I'm sure there's probably one somewhere on the barge to dip the water out of the river and then wash it off.
All right.
Pants is watching all this happening and going, I'm glad I didn't go and steal someone's blanket.
Now, Kit Kat. Or cat.
Yeah.
Because you're in your cat form right now. Is that correct?
Cat form. Sounds like Transformers, like cat form activate.
Right. So what are you going to try to do to stop your clothes from burning?
Or are they like slowly disintegrating? Because that's what I picture when burning.
Yeah, they're kind of slowly burning through.
Okay, on the fly here. So she's kind of going away from everyone else and like pulling out of her bag like a complete copy of what her clothes looked like at the moment, and she changes to the clothes that were and froze the ones that are slowly disintegrating.
Your mic is popping.
Oh boy.
You might need to reset it.
Okay.
But let's assume that you got your clothes washed enough.
Yeah, so she kind of washes them off to try and get the acid thing off, I guess. The bug guts.
So you're looking a little bit ragged in that area, but we're going to say that you not going to burn through to your skin.
That's good.
But your whole ensemble is starting to look a bit more shabby.
Describe shabby.
It's got some of like that gypsy chic look.
Ah, okay.
Like your blouse might be just a little bit more fluttery. You know, your leather might have just a little bit more wear and tear, a few little holes.
I think the fashion term you're looking for is distressed.
Distressed.
Thank you. There we go.
You're looking a bit distressed.
That could be used in multiple instances, but we're working with it.
Work it, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to adjust the map because you're still sailing along.
Wow, we're really gonna have to whip around that corner.
Heck
Yeah. Well, that's why you got a dude on the rudder who knows what he's doing, and the guy, the halfling, who probably hasn't been on a lot of boats, handling the sails.
Wait, that doesn't sound good.
No, we're fine. We're fine. Don't worry. I got this under control. If you see a small halfling flinging around on the yard arm, don't worry about it. It'll be okay.
Okay, whatever you say.
So, is that
And-
like halfling tether mast?
Yeah. Now, on that note, I'm trying to decide what kind of check I want Brighton to make on his sail handling skills.
Why not go with athletics? Wrangling a sail while it's billowing? Holding on to the rope?
Right?
Not falling off to his death?
Just a sanity check. Have you guys seen the update to the unmasking yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unmasking?
Yeah, like I showed. I've revealed a little bit more in the map.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the masked singer or something, and I was like, oh, please don't tell me anything about the unicorn or the
No,
elephant or
there's
whatever.
nothing with the masked singer. I'm going to reopen it on the. Okay.
After Panza's recent ordeal with the ocean, he's oddly calm with the risk of the boat crashing in the middle of the river.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, I guess you're not really affected by water. You've already sunk to the bottom of the Thunder Sea and walked to an island.
Yeah.
So the river probably
Lot.
doesn't phase you.
Yeah, but actually I'm looking forward to it because there's a lot less kelp in here. Kelp is not a rivery thing.
Now, we talked about having Brighton do his athletics check, or I'll say acrobatics check, whichever's better.
Oh, it's athletics for sure. Hold on.
Okay, make a roll. Oh dear.
Yeah.
All I can think about is like a little halfling pirate just swinging around on the sail.
Just screaming bloody murder as he's flailing open the open air.
Yeah.
No, he starts off by going, "Yar har, I'm a pirate," and then screaming hysteric.
Right.
I think a 7 is probably a little bit more yo ho ho.
Ah, okay. We're translating pirate now.
Mm-hmm. So as you continue, and like about an hour, this is about an hour after Brighton has assumed jobs, and you get to this corner where you're supposed to be heading around and kind of making a sharp turn. And Brighton, he kind of fumbles as he's swinging the mast around, swinging the sail around to catch the wind and make that turn. And he loses hold of the rope. So the sail kind of goes awry, and the ship goes a little bit awry too, because it catches a really strong burst of wind at the wrong moment. And unfortunately, gets perilously close on the starboard side. Not the starboard side, the port side. I'm going to get in trouble for saying the wrong things about boats, especially in our family. Okay. And the very front of the port hand side is in danger of striking the rocks on shore.
You want to know the most horrible way that my family learned how to keep it right, or keep it straight? You drink your shot with your right hand, and your port is what you chase it with your left hand. Your port's always in your left because that's what you chase with.
Wow.
Oh man,
How's that for the most dwarven mnemonic you'll ever hear?
that is very dwarven, extremely
Very.
dwarven. So, is there anything that you guys can do that's going to prevent you from crashing the ship?
Use the
How?
halfling as a boat bumper.
You know, if we all run to one side of the ship,
Yeah.
and
There are some extra oars as well.
Oh, okay.
So there's 4 more oars on the ship.
So
Are we gonna attempt to steer out of?
everyone
how,
tried and like push.
Yeah, if it gets really close, you can just push off with the oar.
That's kind of what I was about to ask. Is exactly how are we in oar distance of the shore here?
How fast are we moving?
At this point, you're rapidly swinging toward the shore, and you're getting within oar's distance.
All right, Pants will take an oar and brace himself, get ready to basically go Star Wars trash compactor and slam the oar into the ground and try and.
Does
halt.
anybody else want to help?
So Kit Kat
Yes.
grabs one of the oars and does the same thing.
Because that's really gonna hurt if I'm the only one doing it.
I'm still dangling by a rope.
Someone might want to help him down.
He's fine.
Well time.
All right. In that case, Pants, make a strength check with advantage.
All right, here we go. Poor.
Oh dear.
That's gonna hurt.
So you do slow the ship a little bit, but it hits up against the port bank of the river, and you see it it's scratching. It does. You hear this horrible scratching, violent wood crackling sound.
Oh. Please tell me I did not have the presence of mind to stand on the leftover weakened wood where the acid goop was when I decided to do this?
No, the acid goop is on the opposite side. It's on the starboard side.
Darn.
So fortunately, you're not going to fall through the boat or anything like that.
Darn.
So there's a dent in the boat, at water level. All right. So you hear a scream from down below, a little bit of an impatient kind of shouting about what's going on up there.
Nothing.
And yeah, it's Izzy. She wants to know because she's like, "There's a leak in here."
We're fine. We're all fine.
If it's halfling size, we can use him to plug the hole.
I like the sound of that.
Who wants to go below and check out what's going on?
Before we
Or
go
does
down
anyone?
below,
Not me.
I have heard of this product, this magical potion called Fix-A-Flat. Does anyone have a potion of Fix-A-Flat?
Flax seal.
Because I can go down below, outside, and patch it before she realizes the leak is as bad as it is.
Pants, can your 2x4 summon other 2x4s and then you can patch up the hole? Or does it not work like that?
No, if we had a potion to Fix-A-Flat, then I could do it, but not with a 2x4 now.
Okay.
Plus, I need my 2x4.
This is starting to look like the Titanic.
Well, did someone say they're going downstairs?
Question mark, but very slowly.
Okay. Now, when you get downstairs, of course, Izzy's there, and she's treating Danoir and Aleran. And there's a little bit of water that's congregated on the floor on the port hand side, and it's a very small leak. Like there's this crack, and you see water kind of trickling in. It's not like this huge gushing. Like you're not in immediate danger of the boat sinking or anything like that. But it might be good if you patched it because you still have at least 4 hours left on this trek, and then maybe one day you might hopefully want to take the riverboat back to Willowdale.
What was the other riverboat guy's name?
Jowl.
Jowl. Okay.
Jowl is on the rudder.
Gonna clomp on back to Jowl and say, so, hypothetically speaking, if there was a leak on the boat, do you have anything that could patch it?
Oh, you mean when you crashed the boat, or when we crashed the boat, it caused a little, damage?
That does appear to be the case, yeah.
Ooh, we might have a barrel of tar down below.
Tar could work.
We can work with tar. So clomp downstairs and get some tar and start to apply it to
Be
the
safe with
leaky
it.
spot.
Tar is very, dangerous hole.
Does Pants understand what tar is?
Nope.
Pants, before you put your hands in the tar is very sticky, and your hands could be stuck in tar for years.
So what do we put it on with?
Maybe a 2x.
But then
A mop.
would not the 2x
Oh, yeah, a mop could work.
mop?
Yes, actually, traditionally it's applied with a mop.
They do have mops from swabbing the decks. You might have
Soap?
used a mop.
A wop?
A mop.
Oh, wasp.
You might have used a mop when you were cleaning up after the wasp.
So, get a mop, stick it in the tar, and just flail it onto the wall in the general area of the leak.
Hopefully you don't run any more wasps that you have to clean up after.
Well, then we'll just tar the caustic goo onto the deck.
Yeah.
Or we could not care about the environment and wash the mop off in the river beside us.
True.
Maybe we can poison El Legarto that way.
Ooh.
With tar?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
We'll dip the halfling in it and feed it to him.
Yeah, the halfling, and then, pull him out.
Tarred halflings, bad for the digestion.
Just make like a scarecrow filled with tarry hay and just throw it at El Legarto. Chomp chomp, swallow, tar
Now,
stool.
I'm going to share another map with you.
Suspiciously called As You Round the Next Bend.
Now, you're a bit close still to the shore on the port side. And I'm going to put you on the ship, and you guys can kind of arrange how you are on the deck. I'm assuming that Brighton is close to the mast.
As close as I can be, hanging from.
So we're going to say that that's where the sail is. We got Nissha. Cat. We've got Jowl. He's at the back. Got Pants.
Lore question. Would I keep forgetting his name? Darwin, Narwhal, something, or Aleran or Izzy stop Pants before he uses the entire bucket of tar on the wall?
Yeah, theoretically.
Okay.
What do you
Theoretically,
mean theoretically?
maybe you got like halfway, like there's a significant amount of tar being applied and you didn't quite use all of it.
Yeah, they were like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? What are you
But
doing?
let's say there's like half a barrel of tar that is now kind of slowly sliding down the inside wall, forming a tarry puddle on the floor. And
Now-
whoever has that bunk from now on, they basically got the goose egg. Because it's going to take a really long time for that tar to dry, and they're going to have to like tiptoe around and hope they don't get stuck in it.
And stink.
Oh, boy.
So use this opportunity to arrange where you are on the boat. And say another hour has passed. You've gotten a little bit away from the coast, and you think you're going to make it now around this corner without crashing into the shore more. But you're about, I don't know, 15 yards, 20 yards away from the shore on the port side at this point.
I think myself, Kit, Kat, and Nissha are all on the port side, armed with oars, eyeing the shoreline with extreme prejudice.
Yes.
Everybody do a perception roll.
Got where to find perception for a second. Second roll of a 1 tonight.
So Kat looks at her fingernails.
Exactly.
So Pants and Brighton are looking the right direction. They're actually looking port side. Everybody else is looking off the starboard side because it's kind of a lovely view. You're going through kind of verdant hills. It's starting to get a little bit more mountainous,
Wait.
rocky.
So we're going through Cerulean Hills?
The Cerulean Hills.
That was a rim shot. That failed.
It totally failed. I have no idea what you're going for there. I'm sorry.
We said verdant hills, so I was like, you mean
Oh.
the Cerulean Hills?
Oh, the verdant Cerulean Hills.
Right.
The sky is cerulean. The hills are verdant. It is a melange of beautiful color. Great views, postcard views, and everyone except for Pants and Brighton are enjoying them. Brighton's probably busy sailing the ship, I guess. Doing his best.
I'm trying.
And Pants doesn't understand views.
Nope.
So you two see a little friend come out from behind the cover of a tree on the shore. I want everybody to roll a d6.
To roll what?
A d6.
Oh, a d6.
Whoa, a lot of 4s. Okay,
Yes, even numbers.
Everybody who rolled a 4, roll again. Roll another d6. It is not your day, Kit Kat.
I know. It's sometimes just Sundays my dice roll luck is horrible.
So you're looking the opposite direction.
Yay.
And suddenly this little arrow goes pating from the port side, and Pants and Brighton see this little goblin pull back his short bow and let loose an arrow, and it goes pating and bam, hits Cat right square in the back.
Ow.
And it does 4 damage.
I think that creature might be hostile.
Searingly painful. And after the little goblin does that, he ducks back behind the tree.
Brighton
What?
belatedly yells, "Watch out!"
Day late and $1 short.
So what do you guys do?
Nissha will pull out her crossbow and load it, waiting for the little bugger to come out again.
Zaleria will also pull out her bow and get ready to attack when necessary.
Kit Kat's kind of like in pain right now. She can't ready any weapons.
Oh wait, I know what I have here. I actually have this for my action. There we go.
You're standing around awkwardly?
Yeah, just kind of looking at the 2x4, going, I'm not going to throw this at the goblin.
Because you have no ranged attack? Is that what you're saying?
Not a thing.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
I only have javelins.
So Pants would have to actually literally get off the boat, walk through the river, and climb up on shore to do anything about this goblin. Everyone else, the little goblin comes out from cover again, and he's starting to draw to let loose another shot. Now, I want everybody to roll initiative, but this is just basically to tell whether or not you get to do an attack on him before he does an attack on you.
Question to the DM. If this is to scale, then theoretically, could I not leap to shore and then clobber the goblin in the head?
Well, I said before that it was about 15 yards away, so it's still like maybe, I don't know, let's say 40 feet, which is not 15 yards. I just reduced the number. But you get the drift. It's not within a 2x4 or like a regular normal running jump. Like I think your
Right.
running jump would be something like 14 feet or so, 15 feet.
Okay, just checking.
So it's about twice that much. You'd actually have to get in the water a little bit.
So, seeing what?
So Brighton can actually get off a shot at this little dude if he wants to throw a javelin at him before he gets a chance to try to shoot someone again.
Trying to figure out how this is going to work with me working this.
We'll just flail around wildly.
You only need one hand for a javelin, right?
That is true. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
I'm not going to give you disadvantage or anything for that. I think it's interesting too.
All right.
See some halfling prowess.
Let's give it a shot. I rolled a 12.
So that doesn't hit the goblin. It's a little bit short, and your javelin kind of plunks off the shore and falls into the water. So the goblin, he's going to try to shoot somebody else. I want everybody to roll a d6 again. You might need to change your dice color, Kit Kat.
Probably.
You should hide behind the Warforged.
Not a bad idea.
Try and head down to Izzy to heal her.
And unfortunately, the goblin hits you with another arrow in the front this time.
Oh.
Man, it is really not your day.
And
someone help me.
He does max damage. So you let out the scream. Izzy comes running from down below. And she's going to lay a healing on you. The goblin disappears into cover again. What do you guys do?
I'm holding my action.
I will drag Kit Kat down below deck. Actually, she's light enough.
Well, she's
Probably
let me
pick
see.
her up.
Temporarily, she comes up here and she's going to cast Cure Wounds. Right, so it looks like that. Did that top you completely up?
I so question.
She's at 9 of 9, it says.
Yes. So you're back to full health, and then Izzy ducks back down below.
Yay! I can actually see. Like, I'm not dying anymore.
Oh, I deleted. No, never mind. It's like I thought I deleted the wrong person, but I didn't.
So are we temporarily out of initiative order?
You're temporarily out of initiative order because the goblin is hiding again. What do you want to do? Do you want to keep
Full
on
speed
going, or
running
do you
leap at the
want to?
bush.
I want to. We're long distance, right?
Yeah, you would have to swim in the river for about 30 feet to get to the shore.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, I don't see why I can't try and shoot him with my longbow.
Well, he's behind cover right now.
Okay. Okay.
So you can wait and be prepared and ready for if he appears again.
I'm gonna wait and be prepared.
Okay. Pants, you're headed towards shore?
Yep. Towards last seen hiding spot.
Does anyone else want to head to shore?
I will stay on the boat and keep my action ready.
Okay. What about Zaleria? What would you like to do? Oh, Zaleria. Okay. Well, we'll assume she stays
Sorry,
on the
I'm
boat.
here.
Okay. Are you going to head to shore as well, or are you going to stay on the boat?
I'm gonna stay on the boat.
Okay, so it's just Pants splitting the
Pants,
party.
you got this, buddy.
Well, everyone else is smart enough, I'm sure, to have a ranged weapon, so...
You got this. You got this.
I'm
believe in you.
fine. You just watch him just dunk into the water and just blub.
Hey, Pants, while you're down there, can you grab my javelin for me?
Do I see his javelin?
Do a perception roll. Yeah, you totally see it. So you drop into the water. I'm assuming you're walking along
Yes.
the base of the river.
Yeah, basically.
You're Warforged. You don't need to breathe.
Definitely don't float.
So with an 18 perception roll, you instantly see this javelin lying on the riverbank bed, even though there's a little bit of murkiness added to the water, stirred up by you walking on the silt and everything that's lining the base of the riverbed. It's like effortless. You pick it out, pick it up. Now you have a ranged weapon temporarily. It's a little bit late for it, but hey.
Hey.
And after a few feet more, you run, like the depth starts to get shallower and shallower, and there's a bit of a rocky edge that you might have to climb up. So do a little athletics check.
Alrighty.
No problem. You pull yourself up over the ledge of the rockiness of the shore and get to where there's a little bit of a grassy area starting. Pants is the anti-cat today, apparently, with the rolls. And you are on shore, but you don't see the goblin anywhere. Do another perception check. Dang!
Wow.
I can tell you, I see his footprints.
What you see some broken bushes and shrubbery in the brush that indicate that maybe he ran away very quickly and he's no longer in the area.
Oh, so
Ooh.
Kit Kat was targeted.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did I just figure that out? Oh, boy.
Well, I guess he was trying to maybe, I don't know, get your attention?
He sure did.
So what do you want to do, Pants?
I'm going to clomp over to where I think the bush he was hiding from, which was around here-ish, I'm guessing, that he kept popping out of.
Yeah, you're standing in the bush now where he was.
And
he's no longer there. You can see the signs of the shrubbery being kind of displaced and some broken branches to the north of you.
And with the 19 perception, I have no visual. He's gone, right?
He's gone. You do not see
Okay.
him anymore in the area. You see signs that he fled to the north.
Take the 2x4, clang it against the chest to make a whole bunch of racket and bellow out, "Come out here, you chicken!" Meaning it in a completely different way than everyone thinks he does.
Do you know what way you mean it in?
No, he's calling the goblin a chicken, like buck 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 buck
Bok,
buck.
bok, bok. But
Demon
is this
chicken?
is this a bar food chicken or is this a squawking demon chicken?
This is a feathery bok demon chicken.
Okay, feathery bok
Just
demon
trying
chicken.
to attract attention and rattle them to come out and show themselves.
Well, you see a little bit more of the area. You can see that their footprints. He's leading away. There's no response. So either he's still hiding and intimidated by your threats of chickenness, or he's run away that you might have to pursue him if you want to pursue this further.
Let's follow the footprints.
What are you guys on the boat doing as Pants disappears from view? Because at this point he's entered the bushes that the goblin has used as cover and is no longer visible. And I guess he hasn't given you any audible clues of what he's doing.
Well, I did yell about chickens.
Well, Zaleria is gonna have her bow at the ready, and she's gonna be watching to see if the goblin or anything.
She is totally going to shoot me in the face when I emerge from the brush, isn't she?
Don't hunch over because you might get too goblin-y. Now,
There's
at this
not
point,
enough.
Go ahead.
There's not enough honor in chasing after a cowardly goblin for me to get my clothes wet.
And okay, so Zaleria, you're keeping an eye on it. What about Kit Kat?
Kit Kat is currently like sitting on the deck of the boat.
Do you want to pursue vengeance against this goblin?
Well, she is, vengeful of this goblin that
Because he almost killed you.
the thing. Because my dice roll wouldn't want to.
So you're going
Try
to
that.
avoid further conflict?
Yeah, I don't further die.
So it still Pants on his own. Now, if you want to continue pursuing, you'll probably want to go to the north, move to the north, Pants.
There we go. Oh, sorry, that's Dorian. Wrong voice. Do I have any further signs of the goblin?
So move yourself. Well, if you're going to move north, it reveals a little bit more of the area. Roll another perception check. All right, at this point, you don't see any sign of which way he went.
All right. He grumbles a little bit and then backs up a few feet and then turns around and heads back to ship. Throw the javelin onto the side of the boat.
Alrighty.
Then stand there awkwardly on the shore and figure out how he's going to get back onto the boat.
I'm assuming somebody can I mean, there is normally like a plank, but it doesn't reach. But there's rope. I'm sure somebody on this boat has a rope that they can dangle over side and let you attempt to climb up the side.
Yeah, I have rope. I'll help him out.
All right. Climb up the rope. Get back on board.
Okay, do an athletics check. Just to make sure that you don't, I want to test these dice.
No. The rope is wet.
I'm going to say you slip a little bit, but you do get in. It's very ungainly though. It wasn't with the grace and ease that you departed the ship.
Kind of like watching a clumsy person get into a canoe, like the boat's all rocking a little bit. Like everyone's like, dude, seriously.
You have a little bit of the appearance of a wet cat trying to get back into the boat. Okay. So we're going to say everybody's still on the ship. You're moving gradually forward. So let's switch back to the main Cerulean Hills map. And the boat is moving along. Half an hour passes. You don't see any further signs of the goblin. It seems to be pretty quiet right now on the river.
It occurs to Pans that it may have been smart to pick up a rock or two while he was on shore.
Yeah, you could maybe have used that as a ranged weapon in the future.
That would have been a smart idea.
It would definitely have been an idea. So now it's quiet. You've come to a narrow spot in the river. I'm going to have Brighton make another check to see how he does handling the sails this time.
Okay.
I'm going to say I'm going to help Brighton if he needs some additional muscle on that rope.
Okay.
With the sail.
Then roll with advantage, Brighton. Do an athletics check. All right. Brighton has learned over the past hour. He totally understands sails now. I dare say you were filled with confidence in swinging the mast about.
Yeah, now he's gracefully jumping around the sail and swinging.
Pardon my clumsiness in terms of navigating this ship through the space.
I thought that was pretty smooth.
I'm doing my best.
She did her best.
And let's reveal a little bit more of the area. I'm grabbing the wrong thing. I don't know why I keep grabbing the ship, but that's my bad. All right. Did you see any of that? I don't know.
It looks like either a waterfall or more rocks.
Yeah, and it's kind of, the river is widening up here. And as time passes, you see there are a few more rocks outcropping. You're seeing ruins, of giantish-sized ruins from an age long ago, kind of outcropping along both sides of the river. The water is getting, it seems it's a little bit darker now, suggesting that it's maybe not as deep as it was before. But the banks of the river have widened, so there's a lot more space for you to maneuver. We're going to say that you've moved along nicely.
Has anyone kept an eye out for El Legarto? Or are we still a ways away from his last known location?
We're getting closer. You're still about 2 hours away from the farm.
Oh, okay.
Like last session, every now and again you see a couple normal-sized alligators sitting on the bank, maybe swimming in the water. When you got off the ship, there certainly weren't any around to try to chomp at you. So, they're here and there. They've all been normal sized. None of them have been an albino.
I feel like someone would have noticed a gigantic white alligator.
You're talking to the person who jumped into the river, walked through the bottom of it, and didn't bother to look left or right to look for an alligator.
Fair enough.
He realizes this as we've made the turn. I should have looked for one.
Now, is there anything that, now that it's kind of quieted down, there's been no further little goblins off the side of the river, the bank's far away now. Brighton has found new expertise in handling the sails of a ship, so you aren't having any problems navigating at the moment. Izzy is down below decks, medically taking care of Aleran and Danoir. What are the rest of you guys doing to pass the time over this quiet hour on the river?
Standing around awkwardly.
What level of standing around awkwardly would you say Pants is at right now?
Let's find out. Oh, that didn't go in there. An extreme level of standing around awkwardly. Oh, wait, no, that's only a 13. Dang, that's right, never mind. A moderate level of standing around awkwardly.
Moderate standing around awkwardly. What does that look like?
Basically standing towards the bow, 2x4 in hand, just kind of like clumping around, casually tapping against his shin as the river makes him wobble side to side. It looks like if there was a Warforged bobblehead, he kind of looks like a bobblehead.
Okay. What about Nissha? Are you still at the ready?
Yes, she would still be with her crossbow out, watching the shoreline as it passes.
All right. How about Kit Kat?
Kit Kat sounds like white noise.
Yes. You might need to type what you're doing right now.
Boy.
What about Zaleria?
Zaleria is just like Nissa. She's ready with her bow.
And Kat is having, I guess, a little bit of an existential crisis, thinking about how close she came to death. Reflecting on all the choices that you might have made that got you to this point. Because that was a bit of a close call for her. Now, another hour passes, and the water is getting even murkier. There's a little bit more water in the air. It's a little bit moister, a little more humid. You see even more rocks, but there's still stretches of flat plains to either side, like where you see farms being worked. Off to the port side, you see there's a vineyard in the distance. that there seems to be kind of a cloud something moving very quickly and agitated in the air over the river. And to the starboard side, you see there's some ruins of a giantish bridge that used to arch over.
What's that ahead? It looks like there's a cloud. It doesn't look like it belongs there.
Now, as you pull closer, Jal Zindalo, and you can clearly tell that it seems to be a swarm of small insects formed this like kind of well, it's formed a swarm, that's the word for it, and they're kind of lingering, hovering over the river. They're at least 15 feet, it's at least 15 feet tall off the surface of the water, and it spans the entire width of the river bank, from bank to bank. So it's kind of like this obstacle across the river. And Jal says, you know, this happens sometimes. Sometimes, you know, it's a freakish thing, doesn't last for very long per se, but sometimes the bugs, the insects, they just kind of, you know, come together. Maybe it's some kind of like reproductive thing, maybe it's some kind of, you know, pattern of the wind and the weather, but temporarily they'll like form one of these swarms and then eventually they'll dissipate. Now, he says as your options, you know, it's probably you could probably just drive through the swarm. It's possible people might get damaged, they might the swarm might get a little bit agitated, but it'd be the quickest way through. You could also try waiting out the swarm. You know, if you want to take a few extra hours. If you do that, you've spent 6 hours now on the river. It's getting to be close to late afternoon, so if you wait, it'll probably be dark by the time you get to the farm. And then I guess you could just like try to openly attack the swarm, but Giles Indalo kind of does not recommend that. So how do you want to handle this obstacle? Or if you have any other ideas of what?
Well, I didn't bring any bug spray.
The only experience Pants has with most bugs is the big flying knot chicken that we splattered earlier that was acidic, and barroom flies. So those are never a bother to him. So he's just, yeah, we can just go on through.
And these seem like they're like more closer to the size of barroom flies. There's just like thousands of them.
Yeah, we can go on through. Flies never bothered the toaster.
When you is everybody good for that idea of trying to drive through the swarm?
Yeah, I think I would rather drive through the swarm than try to sit out here in this area doing donuts in the boat.
Yeah.
Boat
I'm
nuts?
good for.
Boat nuts.
Boat nuts. That's.
Can I demonstrate?
I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write that down.
I'd like to demonstrate some boat nuts.
Please do.
There's a boat nut. It's Brighton doing boat nuts. I hope you can see that.
We can, yes.
It's the Magic Fantasy Grounds. You can do boat nuts. So
We're adults.
if everybody's on board with this plan, people can choose to hide. You know, if you don't want to be surrounded by the bugs, you can hide below deck if you want to. And anybody who wants to take up oars on deck to try to move the boat faster, you can do that too.
I'll grab an oar.
Zaleria will grab an oar.
Cat starts ahead.
Nissha will pull up her veils to cover her face and pick up an oar as well.
And I'm sorry, I missed what you said, Kat. Did you say you were going to hide?
From her time of.
That sounded really ominous and poetic, but all we got was from her time of.
Yeah, that could have been anything.
She, like, all insect miss.
You might need to type it again. I'm sorry.
So I'm assuming she is hiding.
Yeah, so Kat does not like bugs at all. She's had mishaps on stage with them, which people in the stream can actually see this, I think. So she's going to hide below deck. Everybody else is on deck helping. I think Brighton is still handling the sail. Giles and Delo, he has the rudder and some rear oars as well. So everybody just sails, rows. And start to enter the swarm of insects.
We get like this ominous music, like in Wrath of Khan, where it entered the nebula.
Yes.
Dun,
And it's,
dun, dun.
and it's a
I feel like
swarming
there's a
mass
lot of
everywhere. There's a lot of buzzing. It's like this intense buzzing sound. As you got closer and closer, the intensity of the buzz grew larger and larger until it's like a buzzphonic. If buzzing could be symphonic, it'd be like buzzphonic in your ears surrounding you. And there's that little vibration everywhere. You can feel like almost like a tickling on the parts of your skin that aren't covered. And I would kind of suggest making sure you keep your mouths closed. Like Nissha had a good idea covering her face. Keep your eyes closed.
Okay, Zaleria's I'm gonna assume she has a collar, but she's gonna pop up her collar and just crouch down in the ground.
And everybody who's on board, who's on deck, not on board, on deck. So that's everybody but Kit Kat. Roll a d4. All right. So that's how much damage each of you took as you went through the swarm.
Is
Just
it poison damage?
it is not poison damage,
Darn.
but it's just like the incidental inflammation and nipping of that many little bugs just coming in contact with your skin and sometimes just as reaction biting at you. And you might have a few welts here and there. But you do manage to pass through the swarm successfully without any kind of grave injury. I think Brighton maybe got the brunt of it because he was up on the sail and still having to maneuver the sail and move his arms back and forth through the cloud. And that agitated a few more insects than everybody else who were, kind of lower to the ground, just kind of doing their rowing motion.
Taking one for the team.
Yes, it's a noble thing. Now, you've passed through successfully. I'm going to unmask the last little bit. move the wrong thing. So you've gotten past the swarm. The water is definitely showing signs of being murkier. It looks like it's getting shallower. You're seeing a little bit of a change in vegetation. You see a few more kind of fern-like things, a few cattails around the shore. It seems like the climate's changing a little bit from farmland. You still see farms to the port side, but the vegetation is getting a little bit less country dale and grassland and a little bit more marshy. Another hour passes without incident, and you pull up to finally the Braza Farm. You can say marshy, marshy, marshy if you really want to.
Marshy, marshy, marshy.
It's totally fair.
Little jokes the youngins ain't gonna get.
I think some youngins will get it. I'm going to share another map with you.
I definitely didn't get it.
You didn't get it.
No, was I supposed to?
I
It's
thought
the
you
Brady
might
Bunch.
have. You'll have to ask your parents later.
I hate doing that because then I just get bullied for being young.
The price you pay. There's a pig!
It's your burden.
Ah, a piggy!
Does Pants recognize what a pig is?
Pants? No.
It's a
We'll
white
just start
chicken.
calling it bacon.
Pre-bacon.
There you go.
All right. So Jal gets off the ship with you. Izzy's going to get off the ship with you. Aleran is stable and Danoir is stable, but they're going to be resting. Okay, for a second I lost Brighton.
I'm
All right.
small. It's okay.
I know, he's tiny. It's behind the sail.
He'd get lost in crack.
And I lost Cat too. So yeah, Cat, enough. The time has passed. The last hour was pretty uneventful on the river. So Cat relaxed a bit, and she is up on the deck with you now. All of you have got, there's a little tiny dock, and they've kind of roped the river boat to the side. Aleran and Danoir are resting down below. You're at the farm. And this is where you were supposed to meet Nash Braza.
He has the worst luck out of character.
He does.
Alright, so this is where we're supposed to go. Pants will just start clomping on up. It would be smart for him to look for alligators, but... question to the DM, am I still totally drenched and have boots filled with river water?
I would say, because it's been a few hours at least since that happened. So while you might be a little bit soggy, you are
Okay.
not drenched.
Okay.
So you're due to talk to the guy, Nash Braza, at the farm. I'm going to leave it up to you, though, to decide what you're doing. So move as you will and direct yourself as you will. And Izzy and Jal are going to follow along behind.
I'm gonna stand around at the gate looking meaningfully at each of the other crew members, like, and talk to him.
You see the gate is open. As someone who is not Pants mentioned earlier, there's a lone single piggy in the pig pen. He looks a bit forlorn, and he sneezes now and then.
He might be a chicken.
Zaleria definitely goes and investigates this pig.
It's Pig. A little bit on the skinny side.
So Nissa's just going to look around to check the place out and then walk right up to the people she sees and ask, which one of you are Nash?
And Ja will come up with you. And he greets them. And he points out which one. This is Nash Braza. And then he's the human. And then there's a little halfling, an older halfling sitting next to him who looks a little bit distraught. And Jal introduces him as being Riverwide Stoutfield, a neighboring farmer who owns a winery, a vineyard, a little bit to the north. You may have passed it as you were floating down the river. So now that they're identified, what would you like to say to them?
Kent is staying very far away from the conversation because, as I mentioned as a joke earlier, his conversation and version of dialogue comes from the lumber section of Lowe's. So instead, he's going to stare at the potential chicken and just stand within earshot of what's going on.
You hear the potential chicken is making slightly different sounds than the chicken you encountered before.
Well, I meant earshot with the Braza conversation.
Okay.
So Brighton's going to ask, where's the alligator?
Yes, we are
Where's the
here
gator?
to conquer the deadly beast.
Nash, he nods. He's like, yeah, it's deadly, all right, yeah. And he nods over at Jal Zindalo. And he says, so your father sent you. He sent these, are you heroes?
I've been called a hero in my time.
I wouldn't say hero.
I just have Tina Turner running through my head right now.
We don't need another hero.
Oh, I was going Bonnie Raitt.
I'm gonna move Cat over too.
No, I'm not a hero.
Tyler, not Raitt. Bonnie Tyler.
Nash says, well, my boy Bobby, he saw it. He saw the beast. But before we get to that and what he saw, I want the reward that your father promised for information leading to sighting the alligator. He promised 100 gold, for anyone who had information regarding Legarto's location. And I only want what's my due. And you pay up, and you can talk to Bobby. And Jal, he kind of looks uncomfortable. And he kind of trudges a bit in place. And he leans over to Nissha. And he says, I don't have that much on me. I've only got 25 gold.
I think we would want to verify the veracity of his claim before giving him any cash anyway.
Do you say that to Nash?
Yes.
He says, I don't have anything to verify. I know what my boy saw. I know what he said to me. And if you want to know what he said to me, what he saw, you got to pay up. It's only due. I can't go without this reward because it's been a hard fall. First, I got attacked by the orcs. They tried to set my farm on fire. They took my dogs. They killed my wife. My wife is dead too. But I don't have any money and I'm having to run the farm by myself with these boys. So before Bobby just gives you the information of what he experienced, I want what Lord Garrison promised.
Okay, well, Zaleria thinks that the group should just chat about this for a second and decide.
Now, I heard all of that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
From while I'm staring over at the pig.
And Jal will come over for any discussion that you have because he has 25 gold that he's willing to offer up. And he says that if you can, loan any more money that'll satisfy Nash enough, like if we come up with some plan that'll satisfy Nash, his father will repay anything that you guys loan. It's just he only has 25 gold on him at the moment.
Nissha doesn't trust that statement too much because if he knew that there was this 100 gold piece reward, why wouldn't he have brought that with him anyway?
Well, he says, this is something that his dad said a decade ago when his mother first died. So it's a pretty old thing, and he'd forgotten about it. Until Nash brought it up, it'd been so long that he'd forgotten that his father had put a reward out right after his mother's death.
I think maybe we should try and negotiate the price or try and work something out. Because 100 gold pieces is a lot.
Of course.
Wait, what was the exact wording on the reward announcement?
A reward of 100 gold pieces for any information regarding the creature's location.
See, that's an amateur way of posing it. It should be leading to the capture or death.
Mm-hmm. Next time he has a wife killed by an albino alligator,
Right.
I think he will do better.
Next time he'll have to do it right.
Yes. When you get back to Willowdale, you can give him your notes.
Oh no, that was out of character. Pants
I
didn't know that. Although there probably would have been reward posters all up over the bar.
Yeah, chances he's seen it. It's not his first reward poster.
Chances are.
I don't know the story behind the tavern burning down. Was it arson or was it just a natural occurrence, or do you not know?
We still haven't figured that out.
Okay.
But the owner did die in the fire, so it might have even been suicide.
So, while you guys have been talking about this amongst yourselves, Nash and Riverwide have been talking amongst themselves.
What kind of... In Riverwide, the halfling is the one that's demanding the reward.
No, Nash Braza is the one who owns the farm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's his son Bobby, who had the sighting. And it's his farm you're on right now, and you can see like that his house is damaged, and he's only got the one pig.
So, how does Nash look like he's edging more towards broken and desperate, or more towards feverish, I will get through this?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like, you can tell that the farm seems to be has fallen a little bit on hard times. He's struggling. He has a hole in his roof, and it's winter time. So, and he's just talked about how, his wife died. She's not there to help him take care of the farm. So all he has are his children. And so they're probably not used to doing all of the chores, handling the same load that his wife did. So he's kind of behind the 8 ball, I guess is the best way to put it.
Pants leans into the group. Brighton and I can go rough him up if we need to.
But keep in mind that other than him, what he said, like he says his son saw the alligator. Other than that, you don't really have any leads for the location. And the
Well-
person you really need to talk to is his son, Bobby.
Well, we don't have any other leads on the alligator, so we don't really have a choice but to take.
So do you want to try to persuade him to take less than 100?
Yeah, that sounds.
Do a persuasion check.
Just remember, if it comes
And-
down to it, offers on the table.
And say and say what do you say to him to try to persuade him to take less money?
Well, I'm the least persuasive person out of this group, apparently.
You're trying to persuade cabbages by the look of it.
That would explain it.
But Kit Kat rolls a 24, a dirty 24. I guess there's no other 24. And using all of her bardic skills and charm, she certainly gets on his good side. So whatever stuttering that Zaleria does, I guess does not cause a problem because Kit Kat is there with some bells and whistles. Do you want to try saying what you say to him, or do you want to type it out and we'll read it aloud?
Give him only 25.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, you sound
Okay.
good.
Cat walks up.
Oh, it's cutting out again. I don't know what's happening. You were great before the show. Let's just say after some persuasion from Kit Kat, Nash nods because he says, "Okay, 25 gold. That'll let me repair my roof, so my kids have shelter." But we got a couple other problems. Like last week, there's this water spider around, and it dropped out of a willow tree, and it almost snatched my middle boy last week. It almost grabbed Melvin, but he got away. So that spider, it's out there on the southern part of my farm, and it's a danger. And if you could take care of that problem for me, it would go a long way toward making up the other 75 gold that I'm not getting that's due to me. So if I take Giles 25 gold and you help with a spider problem, that would satisfy me. And I'll let you talk to Bobby. The other thing here, my neighbor, Riverwide Stoutfield here, he's had a little problem recently. His son, Tall Oak, has disappeared. And he's kind of concerned between the orcs that just don't leave me alone and the giant water spider and the albino alligator out there. He's a little worried that something terrible has happened to his son Tall Oak. So, if you're willing to look for Tall Oak as well, he's perfectly willing to like give you a reward. You know, he does pretty well at the vineyard, and he'll give you a crate of his finest vintage. You know, the 978 YK stuff. It's got to be worthly. I don't know. I wish he'd give me a case and I'd sell it.
From across the farm, Pants chimes in and goes, "That's good stuff. We sold that at the bar."
Yeah, it's one of the it's pretty quality vintage. You know, it's not the run of the mill dregs kind of stuff that the cheap patrons buy. It's the kind of thing that they served in House Kundarak with all the bankers around.
Yeah, that's the kind of bottle that comes with a corking fee.
Yes, it is, exactly. So he'll give you a crate of that stuff.
A crate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pants rushes over.
Worth a couple hundred gold, you know, if you can help, you know, locate his son.
Guys, that crate of wine is worth way more than 100 gold. We get that crate, we walk out of here rich.
Yeah, I think we should go for it.
So he says that the orcs have been operating to the east of his farm. That's usually where they come. They come from the east when they attack his farm. And he says that the water spider was on the south side of the south bank of his farm, past the wheat fields. Now, in order to let Bobby talk to you, he wants you to help with the spider problem first. And he takes the 25 gold from Zhao, but he wants you to handle the spider problem before he lets you talk to Bobby. And that's the part that's to the south.
That's fine. We should kill the spiders before we start having to shake some information out of people.
I look at it this way. We kill the spider, we get the crate. If we still need to shake him up, we can still shake him up, but the crate is going to way more than pay back that 25 gold.
Well, the crate is if we find the boy, the halfling child.
So kill the water spider, find the halfling child, get the crate, profit, deal with Legarto, profit again.
So he says if the halfling is with the orcs, it's going to be to the east, and if and the spider should be to the south. Which direction do you go?
I think we start to the south with the spider, get that out of the way, and then we can go search for the orc.
Just from what I hear, mind you, this is just from stories around the bar, if the halfling kid, Tall Oak, is with the orcs, he may not be there alive after we go to the spider.
Was that specified that he had to be alive when we brought him back?
He wants you to find him.
I'm pretty sure he'd prefer alive.
I think he might be more generous with what he rewards you if he's alive.
Preference is not the same as requirement.
So there's probably more of a reward out of it for you if he's not dead.
Do you want to go clarify if we find his child alive or dead?
I mean, the chances are this if he was actually taken by the spider or the alligator, he's probably dead.
Well, no, I'm asking that. I'm sorry, that was in character to Kit Kat, since she's our face right now. Like, I couldn't roll a 24 with a natural 20.
So wait, Kat would like to go after Tall Oak? Is that what I'm interpreting correctly?
No, I was asking Kat if she would go and clarify.
Oh, okay.
Whether, if the reward is contingent upon the son being alive, because if the son is dead and we don't get the crate, well, that might change your priorities. Because we're a bunch of morally deprived bastards.
Oh, the halfling nods and he kind of sobs a little bit. He's like, well, of course I want my boy back alive. It'd be terrible if he's not alive.
So that
Oh,
kind
gosh.
of does shove the child to our top of our priority list.
If the orcs have him, what are they doing to him? I mean, they could be, I don't know, they could be holding him for ransom, but I haven't got any ransom note yet.
They could be serving him tea.
They with tea.
I was carefully omitting that particular participle.
Yeah, that was quite the plot twist. Ooh.
All right, we'll
So,
find the halfling first, then.
go east. Ramshackle Motley
rescue.
Union.
Must rescue fellow halfling.
And you're not entirely sure this halfling may be a child. It's the guy's son, but he's a little bit older. So he might be an adult. Who knows though? It's a halfling. So the size is negligible.
What?
Maybe a child and maybe a grown up. You can't quite tell from what the man's saying.
Pants looks down at Brighton. Are you two related?
It's a halfling. They all look the same.
I don't look like Izzy. I'm sorry. There's a distinct difference.
Well, you guys come up to like knee height to a Warforged.
So are you heading? You're heading east.
East.
There's a lot of woods, and you walk for maybe like half a mile. You come through some trees, and there's also kind of like a barrier that looks, or the remnants of what used to maybe be a barrier built out of planks and barrels, but has been crushed. And pass through a couple more trees, and then you come into a clearing.
Does Brighton have the Outlander background?
Yes.
Good.
And I'm going to share another map with you. And I'm dragging you guys onto this map. I am not dragging you correctly to the little squares, but I'm sure you can adjust yourselves.
Not on stream.
Totally adjust your avatar. And Jalis stayed behind at the farm with the
Good.
dudes.
I was gonna actually instruct him to do so.
He stayed
This is
behind
where
with
your
Nash,
job ends.
with Nash and Riverwide.
Oh, before we left the boat, and before we left Izzy, could we get maybe have her top up Brighton from his 4 points of insect damage?
You mean you want her to cast a spell?
Well, I mean, since she's just gonna hang around at the boat.
Well, she's with you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I mean, yep, there she is.
And you guys have had
missed
the
that.
equivalent of a short rest. So if he wants to spend his hit die to heal a little bit.
Well, just there was the 4 points of bug damage.
So he could use his hit die to heal
I'm
part
gonna
of that 4
hold
points of
off.
damage.
I'm gonna hold off on using it.
Alrighty. So as you come to this clearing to the east of the farm, you see a little ways away a waterfall. And there's a bit of a clearing in front of it. I just read your comment and I'm giggling. Do halflings take really short rests?
It's a
Short and
legitimate question.
adorable rests. So, has everybody adjusted themselves? It looks like you have. Is this the the marching order you want to be in?
No, I'm gonna get closer to the front here. And kind of muse out loud. I thought we were looking for an orc camp. Oh wait, are you talking about the marching order on the party sheet?
On the map.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Alrighty. All right. I want everybody to roll a perception check.
I swear I thought you were about to say initiative.
Good Lord, Pants.
Hey, this just means that whenever we get to Dragon Heist on Friday, that Hamford's going to be even more useless than he is normally.
Yeah, you're going to roll like 2s the whole evening. Nissha, for some reason, is not completely alert for change. Because normally she's on her guard, ready for anything. But she's actually caught off guard as a pack of wolves leap out of the bushes.
My homies don't know I got a wolf in the bushes.
I just accidentally created a little line. I have to remember how to uncreate it. Woo! Okay, I got roll initiative, by the way.
There it goes.
So the first round, everybody but Nissha is going to get to attack. And they'll get to attack before the wolves do.
So we out ambush their ambush?
You out ambush their ambush. You saw them coming.
Alright.
These wolves ain't got no game. Zaleria,
Yes.
you are up. What do you do when there are wolves?
Well, let's see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try and attack.
A palpable hit. At 22, you definitely zoing a wolf. Did you drag your damage directly onto a wolf? Do I
No,
need to
I
zoom
missed.
in?
No, I'll get it.
Okay.
There we go.
I think you can just drag the total onto the wolf too. I don't know if it's just the GM.
You can. But I see she's applied it now. It's awesome.
Well,
Well
I mean, I'm
done,
just
you.
saying. I don't know. I know the DM can do it. I don't know if the players can do it. Like after we roll, then we can drag it. I'm not sure
I
if
think
we
we
can do
might
that or
be able
not.
to.
I think we can.
Mm-hmm. I think Fantasy Grounds does have that technology. Zaleria, is there anything else you want to do as part of your turn? Do you want to move?
No, I'm just gonna stay right where I am.
Alrighty. You want to end your turn?
Yeah.
I'm going to zip through. The wolves aren't going to get to attack this round, and I'm going to zip through Nissha as well because this is the surprise round. And so it is Brighton's attack.
Yay. All right. So Brighton is going to take his mask made out of his mount's skin and teeth and pull it up over his face in a visage of rage. And in response, he is going to rage.
Wow.
So he holds up his little arms in front of him in kind of like almost a raptor type pose. And he goes, "Rawr!" as he grabs his great axe.
Ferocious halfling.
So I will go here and attack the one just to my north.
Is that telling you that that's a miss? Because it should be a hit.
I don't know. Just says attack M.
M's for melee.
Never mind. That is a hit.
Okay. Rolling damage.
Sweet googly googly. The wolf lets out a little ow because you do a very powerful hit. Now the wolf that you hit has a gaping hole in its side. And why don't you try dragging that damage to a wolf directly? All right, you dragged it to the right one because that wolf has fallen.
Good to know that
One
works.
wolf is down. Do you have anything else that you want to do on your turn?
No, I think I'm good.
Oh, and we can. Hey, just notice this too. We can right click it and have it or double it or negate it. So if you drag it on accident, we can undo our own.
You can
oopses.
undo it, and if you critted and it didn't actually apply the crit damage, you can do that as well.
That's all sorts of cool.
All kinds of fun things that you can do. All right, we're gonna pass through Wolf 3, and now it is Kit Kat's turn to attack. And remember, when you can attack, you can drag your attack directly to a target, and same thing with the damage. And that will just cut out that extra step of having to apply it to your target. A dirty 20. Cat absolutely hits. She pokes a wolf with the pointy end. Oh, and Cat, you'll need to be adjacent, like in the very next square to a wolf. to have the appropriate reach. So 1 square of there you go.
She just has long arms.
Well, she is a changeling. She could just like Mr. Fantastic
No,
way into it, you know?
that's
like...
not how changelings work.
Well, you know, trolls have really long arms.
They do. So this other wolf, wolf number 3, is also strongly wounded, but still standing. Do you have anything else that you want to do, Kat, as part of your turn? Okay. You can do the in turn button. Or...
Alright, Pants will just mosey on up to this wolf here. Unsling the 2x4 and hit himself in the head in the process.
Oh, wow. Yep, you definitely missed. Izzy. She's gonna let loose a little sacred flame. But her miss, oh wait, no.
No, that's
good.
That's the wolf failing.
That's good. Split second, I forgot how sacred flame works.
Spells are hard.
Oh,
though.
and does a huge amount of damage. Everybody is rolling really, really well, and even Kat is rolling well now that we're in combat. So that's Wolf 2 that's down and out. So as this happens, two more wolves leap out of the bushes.
Two more.
Two more.
Oh man.
Oh, did I move that one?
If I throw my 2x4, will the wolf go fetch it?
Is that likely? Which wolf did I not drag over here?
We only see wolf. I can't tell which number.
Oh, I haven't unhidden them, but here you go. How do you like the wolves now?
There we go. Yeah, something about the tokens are really weird to mouse over now. Or maybe that's just mine.
I might have changed the setting. I wonder if I can change it on the fly back. But now it's Zaleria's turn again. And while you take your turn, Zaleria, I will see if I can fiddle with the stuff so we can see the labels better. I might have turned something off. I shouldn't have.
Okay, well, I'm gonna.
Oh no. With a 7, you have definitely missed that wolf.
We'll get him next time.
Try options, token, show name at the bottom.
Oh, tooltip.
There it goes.
That's
There it
the
is.
sweetness.
That's where we're looking at.
That's the one I wanted. Alrighty. Now,
Back in action.
it's Wolf 1's turn. And he's going to snap his jaws, pants, quite irate about the other wolves who have fallen.
Bring it on, puppy.
And he chomps and misses. Then Wolf 4 is open, and he's going to chomp at Brighton. And he has pack tactics, so he's going to get an advantage on his attack against Brighton.
That's only if the other wolf is within melee range of Brighton too.
The way I'm reading, well, let me see. The wolf has advantage on attack rolls against a creature if at least. Okay, never mind. Then he doesn't.
But,
okay.
Yeah, no, the next wolf will get advantage.
I was reading it as I was reading it as the wolf being within 5 feet, not the target. Okay,
Right.
So let's turn off the advantage. It will be normal.
Next wolf will get it though.
A normal chomp that also misses. And finally, Wolf 5, he's going to move up next to Brighton, and he's going to use that ye olde advantage of pack tactics. And that is a hit. A dirty 20. It does 8 damage.
Is that halved?
I think it might be halved because it's piercing and you're raged. Is that how that works?
Yeah, he's raged. So that if that did 8, then he'd have to have rolled 16.
I missed what you were beforehand, Brighton. Did you have any damage going into this?
Yes,
You had 4, right?
I had 4.
So it only applied 4.
Okay.
So it's all good. Now, the wolf's turn is over, and Nissha finally gets to do something.
Yay. Alright, Nissha is going to advance and attack wolf number 5 with her double-bladed scimitar. Lost my weapons for a second.
I know what that's like. I lose stuff all the time.
I frequently lose my mind.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to make my second attack. And that is the end of my turn.
Alrighty. So damage done to Wolf 5. He is moderately wounded. And I keep referring to the wolf as a he, but I have not bothered to check.
I guess we could pick up the token and look.
Now it is Brighton's turn.
All right, I am going to attack the one that chomped.
Looks like that wolf gets a great axe to the face, and it is down. All right. Is there anything else you want to do this turn?
What is Nicknavin?
I'm going to take a step back.
Oh, that's me. I am not sure why that happened.
Might have just been accidentally clicking because, like, I've noticed if you click on the chat window to adjust it, you can repost things that have happened from chat.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to scroll up and look at some stuff.
So it's just one of those fiddling about things.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. The green text just means that it's text, so it didn't apply to anything.
Good to know.
All right, I moved and I'm done.
Those are like safe words. All right. So it is Kit Kat's turn. So Kit Kat has moved up to wolf number 1 and taken a poke at it and missed, unfortunately. Is there anything else you want to do as part of your attack turn? Alrighty. Then it is time for Pants to act.
All right. Well, since wolf number 1 is invincible, I'm now convinced. I'm going to shift within melee range, so
You're going to move your attention to Wolf 4. Enough of Wolf 1. Wolf 1 is history. So out of style. Oh, Pants lost his connection, unfortunately, at an opportune moment. And I know exactly what that's like, because I've had that happen to me before when I was playing. Just when it's your turn, and you lose connection. Let's give him like 30 seconds. And...
Wait. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're back! Was it just Fantasy Grounds? I guess it's just Fantasy Grounds. Waha! All right, that's
Am I
not
back?
just like what I've experienced. You're back.
Okay.
Normally, I lose Discord and everything.
I really hope that recorded the roll because it was a decent roll.
It did not record the roll. Wah,
Dang
wah,
it.
wah.
Sad trombone.
I don't think Fantasy Grounds could handle the wonder of that roll.
Really?
Fantasy Grounds was jelly of the roll.
It was.
And now it's a miss.
Womp womp.
The dice gods have been displeased. They show you no mercy.
It might be time to requisition a new 2x4.
New 2x4. Maybe it got wet in the river.
You know what it is? That.
It got damp.
Soggy lumber.
Soggy lumber. All right, you have anything else you want to do your turn?
Point it threateningly at wolf number 4, and that's it.
Do you say bad wolf?
No, he doesn't know what that means.
Okay.
He has no context for that.
Just a point of clarification. Does Pants know what a wolf is, or does he just think this is another chicken?
Well, from stories, he's, okay, this is a wolf, but, yeah.
Alrighty.
They could tell him it was a basilisk, and he'd go, okay, we killed a bunch of basilisks.
Alrighty. Well, next turn, I'm going to pass it on to Izzy. Izzy is going to move next to Brighton
Heal me.
and cast a Heal. And you're healed for all the stuff. Yeah, all your wounds close up, and you seem to kind of almost glow.
That
I
means
rubbed
he's
my body
pregnant.
with oil.
You have that fresh feeling. I'm going to, that'll be all for Izzy's turn. And it's back to Zaleria.
He's like that Tonga guy who was at the intro of the Olympics a few years ago.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do, Zaleria? Are you going to bow? Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm gonna bow.
And that is going to be a miss, I'm afraid.
Dang.
Is there anything else that you want to do?
No.
All right. I will advance to Wolf number 1's turn. Wolf 1, he still has it going for Pants. Because Pants apparently cannot hit him. Pants cannot, hit any wolf? Or did you hit the other one? I can't remember now.
I haven't hit anything yet.
But Wolf number 1 is going to try to chomp on you. And that is a hit.
Just barely.
Chomp, chomp, chomp. And I even forgot to do pack tactics that time, which would have been valid. But, a 22 is definitely a chomp. And you get chomped for 7 damage.
Ouch. Something has bitten me right in the buttocks.
I just heard Forrest Gump.
That was what the
I did
point.
too. Oh my god, Pants be like the Warforged version of Forrest Gump.
Oh my god, is that his voice? Is that Pants' voice?
That might be Pants' voice. You've been
My
trying
name
to
is
find
Pants.
it.
My name is Pants. Pants the Bouncer. Oh my
I'm
god, that's
dying.
it. That's it. That's it. That's his voice.
All the magic has happened. And on that note, Wolf 4 is going to try to chomp Pants too. Well, it hit anyhow. I forgot to do the pack tactics again, but it still got chomped.
Judye.
And
I may
Pants is
not know what a
down.
crit is.
Pants' buttocks have been mightily chomped, so much that he is down on the ground. And with that, it is Nissa's turn again.
Nissha will move up on wolf number 4.
A hit with the first blade.
And I'll use my bonus action to attack with the second blade.
Alas. A 6 is
And
a
that's
miss.
the end.
But well done. Now it is Brighton's turn again.
So Brighton lets out a primal scream. Pan! And
That's
advances on,
That was brilliant.
and advances on the wolf that bit Pants in the butt. And will attack.
I'm adjusting the wolf because I had him off center. You definitely got that wolf.
Let me apply the damage.
Okay, so he's looking a little bit wounded, but he's still, got a lot of chomp left. And do you have anything else you want to do in your turn? Any bonus actions or movement?
He says no.
Alrighty. Then it will be Kit Kat's turn again. Alrighty. So Kit Kat does a nice bit of damage to one of the wolves, to wolf number 1. And wolf number 1 is looking pretty worse for wear.
Must have been the splinters in his mouth from chomping on
Yeah.
No,
Well,
there's denim blocking it.
I'm thinking that Warforged is probably not the tastiest thing that this wolf has ever experienced. And he's maybe
Yeah.
regretting the chomping a little bit.
Regretting his life decisions.
Could have chomped something better. So Pants is down. So we will, you're unconscious, do your death save.
Whew.
Woo, 1 success.
Oh, and it automatically marked it as a success. Yay.
Ooh, it's nice of Fantasy Grounds to do that.
Yeah.
Isn't Fantasy Grounds a good friend?
They're a great friend.
Next turn. Izzy, let's see what Izzy can do. I know that she has an ability. With her Dragonmark.
Ooh, does that give her range to do it in, or does she have to get in with Chompy Chomp?
She has to
Space.
touch you. So she will have to get into Chompy Chomp space. She will be getting into space, and she's going to touch you gently. And her dragon mark begins to shimmer and kind of glow with a bluish purple light. And as she touches you, you feel a sense of well-being. And you're kind of brought back into consciousness. And let's see what it's going to roll. Let's see.
Now, is this halved, or is this...
It is going to be halved, but I'm still calculating what it's going to be.
Oh, okay.
So it will be 4 plus 4. No, 4 plus 2. So give yourself 6 hit points back, and you are still prone, but you are conscious.
Lieutenant Dan! Okay. I'm alive.
And that will be Izzy's turn. It is Zaleria. I just got elves confused.
It's easy. They're all
I'm
alike.
so embarrassed because you really don't look anything alike. So very different. All right, that's going to be a hit from your longbow. And Zaleria drops wolf number 1.
Yay!
See ya, wouldn't want to be ya.
I finally did it.
So that leaves poor wolf number 4 all alone, trying to decide who to chomp. And he's going to go for Nissha. It is a hit. Does 7 damage. And that is his turn, and it is going to be Nissa's turn.
So, as a bonus action, I'm going to try to use my second wind.
Alrighty.
Not sure how to do that, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Hold on, I can just throw one on you. If you don't
Yeah.
already have it set up as your fighter bonus actions, you have to set it up. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh,
After
thank
this stream, you can just copy mine over to hers.
She's back. Yeah, we do have tools set up in Fantasy Grounds for just this kind of thing if you needed it set up. But you're good.
Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't look like it was set up yet.
You're practically 100%, and for a Tairnadal elf, practically 100% is like 1,000%.
Exactly. So then she's going to make her attack.
Alrighty. With a 16, she absolutely hits the wolf.
And that is the end of my turn.
And that wolf is barely hanging on. Like, it looks like it could just, the slightest paper cut is going to take that wolf down for the count. So let's see what Brighton can do.
Yay. Alright, so I'm going to sneak up behind the wolf. I'll not sneak. Die!
A little overkill there at the
Well,
end.
Yeah, that'll do it.
you can roll damage if you want, but I think it's safe to say that you have absolutely obliterated this wolf. It is no longer recognizable as a wolf.
Crap.
Like, its wolf mommy and daddy would be like, what the hell is that? Because it don't recognize the wolf anymore.
I think everyone who is on the opposite side of my swing should be completely soaked in wolf guts right
Yeah. Okay, I think that's fair. I think that's safe to say. You can do a dex save if you want to avoid the spray.
I'm prone. I have advantage.
Oh, that's right. So, Pants, you're definitely sprayed, I think. I say Nissha avoids getting sprayed. She's a professional. She knows how to duck and weave.
So he just did more damage to the wolf than the wolf had hit points, didn't he?
Oh, way more.
No, I mean like total hit points. Like
almost double. Not quite, but almost.
You completely ruined that winter wolf pelt.
Oh, and Izzy manages to dodge the blood spray too. So Pants is the only one who got sprayed with the
It
blood.
looks good on you, Pants.
But it was a glorious display of carnage. You can feel proud about that, Brighton. You have unwolfed something. And that is going to be the end of this combat. And I think that's where we're going to stop for this episode.
I'd like to lay on the ground, still covered in wolf blood, and activate some self-repair protocols.
Certainly.
Before I get up. There we go. That's better.
Of course.
You see him adjusting some screws and tinkering with some plates and putting things back into position before he gets up, Undertaker style. That was unpleasant.
If you want to, I'd say at this point you can decide. We'll treat it like before next episode. You do have an opportunity to take a long rest. This is nighttime though, but we're going to treat it like maybe you've camped out, unless you want to go back to the farm. So that's a choice. You can go back to the farm and start the next episode at the farm, or you can camp out here safely for a long rest. All right.
Since she just said the word safely, I say we do it here.
Yeah, safely sounds good to me.
All right. So we'll just treat it when we come back for the next session that everyone has had a long rest.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Are there any other concerns before I do the outro text and say farewell to our gentle viewers?
Nope.
Join us for Dragon Heist on Friday.
The 8th on Evil Beaker on Twitch?
Yeah. Maybe throw that plug out, and that was pretty much it.
Okay. That's true. Tholgrin and I will be players in that campaign, and that will be on twitch.tv Evil Beaker.
Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Does anybody have a Twitter handle that they want people to follow them at? I don't think Brighton or Nissha do. You guys don't Twitter, do you?
No.
I'm BonnieBew. Tholgrin is at Tholgrin. Zaleria, do you care?
I don't really have social media, so no.
Okay. And does Kit Kat? Okay, and Kit Kat, you can follow her at Pink Gamer Teen on Twitter. And Izzy, who wasn't here tonight, but you can follow her at Judye Nazareth. And then to say goodbye, tonight's adventure was based upon Monster in a Swamp by Kevin Melka. That's our own Evil Beaker DM, who is the DM for Water Heist, for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Water Heist. That's gonna be my short nickname for it from now on.
What, Water Heist?
Water Heist.
Well, I've just been calling it the Waterdeep Dwarves.
We're stealing refreshments.
And I may or may not include the plus drow.
I've adapted this adventure for Eberron, but if you would like to adapt it for your own table, it's available for purchase on dmsguild.com in both PDF and Fantasy Grounds module formats. So thanks everyone for watching D&D Night on DDOstream. The next episode for this campaign will be in a month on March 3rd. Who knows what's going to happen? Will we ever find the alligator? It's supposed to be the last leg in this story, but we may have gotten a lot of sidetracks. So who knows if we'll actually wrap it up then. That'll be interesting to find out. But what happens, happens. This is adventure. Anything could happen. If you want to see what happens next, you can tune in on March 3rd to D&D Night on DDOstream. But next week, if you tune into D&D Night on DDOstream, you will see the continuing adventures of D&D Kasplat, a campaign with DM Patrick of DDOcast. Check out DDO.com for the official DDOstream calendar to find out about our other D&D Night groups, as well as the rest of the DDO streamers. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Fantasy Grounds, which you have seen us demonstrate many of the lovely features this evening. You can learn more at fantasygrounds.com to see how you can get started with your virtual tabletop gaming experience today. You can also follow on Twitter DDO, the game, at DDO Unlimited, and you can follow Fantasy Grounds at Fantasy Grounds 2. That is going to be it for our show tonight. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us, and have a lovely week.